So this session here is comparing the Web Intelligence 4.3 data tab versus traditional merging. And do you still want to merge? If you have data tab, when might you want to use one over the other? So I have examples from both, and I debated which one to start off with. And I think I'm going to start off showing 4.3 and the data tab because it will show when you might want to use merging instead. Okay, so here's our 4.3. I have previously brought in this report some universe data. I have my order numbers, customer ID, and revenue. So now I want to bring in an Excel spreadsheet that has some order data with the shipping data, and I want to join that data together. So one of the things I wanted to show you that I just discovered recently, I'm on 4.3 Service Pack 4 Patch 2. And you can't, previously we would add an Excel document from here, the upload document. Notice if I go to browse, you see the file types shown there. It's looking for a beer file, RPT, a .unv, or a WID, a Web Intelligence document. Excel is not listed there. So this is different in this version. The way we can add an Excel file is now I'll start off at the report level, and then from the add query, I'll add my Excel file. Okay, so back to my report here. I'm going to edit the query and click on add query. And then this is where I'll say I want my data source from Excel. And then I could either navigate to where that was in my repository already, or I could add it from here. This is the add button, which is like to upload it to my repository. And currently it's grayed out because I haven't selected a destination. So I'll just choose my personal folders for now and upload, click on the upload button, and then I can navigate to that location and add the report. And that's the report I want. I'll click open. This is the same window we've had in 4.2, so nothing changed in that window. And then we see our query panel. This is the data from my Excel spreadsheet. Everything looks fine except for the zip code, which it thinks is a measure. So we'll change that at the report level. I'll click run. Notice that query filters are an option now too. We used to not be able to add a query filter. I'll add it to my current report. All right. It did not drop it in here, and I think it's because I've added it and deleted it a couple times to prepare the report. So let me come over here. I should have named the query as well. All right, here's my Excel data. And let me fix the zip code first off by changing the qualification on that. So I'll select my ship to zip, and then from the object properties in my properties panel, I'll change the qualification to a dimension. Click apply, and then I have to refresh that query to pull it in again. All right, so that data is ready. What I'd like you to notice is my order number. That's the object that I want to merge on or join together on. So I have this order number from my universe and this one from my spreadsheet And what happened is it dropped the leading zeros, which now they won't merge properly. So let me move to Data tab, Data mode. Here's our Data tab window. I always like to click on this Show Data Sources to expand that out. I can tell I've got my universe data here, my order cells, and my order ship to detail here from my Excel file. Now I can examine the data from either data set by clicking on that data set in the lower part. I can see the results at the top. I can see the numbers up here and compare my data sets here. Here's my order numbers in the Excel file, and those are the ones that I need to be able to join on. So we have in the three dots beside that, you'll see we have these transform options. I can change it to uppercase, lowercase, replace, trim, and fill. Fill is the one I want to use in this case, and I can just fill in those zeros that are missing. So I want to fill it in with zeros. I happen to know that they're using an 8-digit order number. So the max length will be 8, and it will automatically adjust. Some order numbers might need 5 zeros, some might only need 4. And I want it to fill in at the start. So I'll click OK. And there's my new order number. Filled it in very nicely. Notice it put a little symbol on there to let me know there's been a transformation done on that data set. Okay, now I'm ready to join the two data sets. So I'll select my universe data first for my order cells, and then with my control key, I'll select the second. I can also lasso them, which is really nice. Just be aware which one you're lassoing first. And then our join button is here on this blue toolbar that says Create Cube. I'll click on that. And that opens my Create Cube. Here I can give it a new name, which I will. Order sales with shipping. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Now this is where we have the new join options that were made available in SP4. So we have our left join, the full join, an inner join, left join without intersection, full join without intersection, and the append cube. The pictures beside it actually even show you the piece of data that you're going to get from that, which I think is really cool. In this case, a left join is what I want, so I'll leave it on a left join. And below that, I'll click on the Add Keys. So here is where I can select my common dimensions. So I'll select my order number and order number. It pops them up to the top. I could select more here, but those are the only two that will work. So I'll click OK. And then create. And that creates my new cube here, my order sales with shipping. All right. And then I'd like you to notice all the data that was in here. My universe data had 6 columns. My Excel file here had also 6 columns. So I have 11 rows of data. If I go back here to just look at my Excel file was all dimensions. And my order cells had about 5 or 6 dimensions and 1 measure. You see how they're all playing together nicely in my joined cube? So no more do I have to create detail objects associated with a merged dimension and all that. They're all just playing together nicely. So I've got my 11 columns. the one common one being between them.
Have you started using it then?
No, I haven't seen it before this, so it looks great.
They redid I think the caveat you guys made us aware of was don't do an SP3, you have to redo everything.
That's right.
Yeah, SP3 was good as like a pre-release of it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we had functionality.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So back at the report level, I could then create a new, I'll just add a new report tab, and I could create a new table with all the data together playing nicely. Okay, and here's my order number. Okay, so yes.
So which, since the order numbers had two different names, which is it because you the left join and picking that one to display on the report?
Let's see, I would say yes, but let me confirm that. Yes, it's using that one. Mhm.
You said it was the one you selected first, yes?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
that's the left side of the join. Oh. Mhm. All right, so all of that's great. However, what if I had a scenario where, for example, if I go back and look at the transform options, I had a data set. I could pick on any one of these. I had dates, and I need to reformat the dates so they'll work together nicely. What do I do in that case? That's when I have to use traditional merging, because in traditional merging, we can create a variable that gets it in the format that we need it to be, and then I can do the merging. Okay, so that would be a scenario. Let me open up that report. Oops, that's the completed one. There we go. All right, so the green table is from Excel. The left table here is from my universe, and this is the column that I want to merge on. In my universe, it's month, day, year, and in my Excel file, it's year, month, day with no, it's a string. So how can I get that? And there's no transform option in 4.3 currently to be able to take advantage of that. Furthermore, I could create a variable that does that, but the variable is not going to show up in that data tab. Okay? Only your universe object here's my ship date, and there's no, not, yeah,
A logical conversion.
right.
Yeah.
So I can get around that.
And that's BI 2025 and 2022.
Yeah. So here I created a ship date that is formatted the way I need it to be. So with month, day, year, and then I can merge the data together in a traditional method. I've merged together my product name and my ship date here, and then I can use them in a new report as we have in the past. Okay. So I use that. My merge dimensions, and then any additional ones from, well, and again, I still have to go through the the same rules that we had before, where I can use additional dimensions from one data set or the other. And if I want additional dimensions from the other one, then I have to create a detail object, which is what I've done here. So I created the, well, that's my status. That's the additional object that I wanted to bring in, and I associated it with my product name, and then I'm able to bring it in. I can't get to the OK button. Still can't get there. There we go. All right. And then I could bring in that additional dimension that's now a detail into that. So it's a little bit more work to get all the things you want, because all the time we want dimensions from both. It's just always that we need, it's not just one common dimension. We're always going to need additional ones. So I was really excited for 4.3 to be able to do that much easier. So there's lots of these transform options. There's another example that I'll bring up to show this join option. So this is an example that I like to show. I have a list of salespeople here, and there's 25 of them. And so that query is only bringing back my sales reps. And then I brought back a query that shows my sales reps and revenue. And there's only 8 sales reps that have revenue. So this query is saying, show me my sales rep with no revenue, or revenue equal to 0. And I get no data. So the only way we could accomplish what I want is, which is a list of my sales reps that have not produced any revenue, is by using a combine query. So if I edit this, in the past, the only way we could get that minus, because that's what I needed to do here, was minus out these 8 sales reps from my entire list. And we could do that with a combined query. So we could get there. However, there was the downside with combined queries, in that combined queries required that they be from the same universe. So not even 2 universes, and definitely not from an Excel spreadsheet. So using the data tab, now we can accomplish this, and they can be from different sources as well. So if I go to the data tab, and so let me expand this out. I've got currently 3 queries: my all rep with 25 rows, my 8 reps that have revenue, and then this is my sales reps with no revenue equal to 0, and I get no data. So I'm going to combine these top 2. I'll select my all reps and then my 8 reps, and then click on the combined button. This time, the join I want is, let's see, left join without intersection, and that's going to minus out the common ones. So with that join in there, I'll click create. And right away, I can tell by the numbers, 17 plus 8 is my 25. So then I could use that to give the, yeah. Here's the list of slackers.
I love it.
Yep.
That's why people do night reports.
So here's my 17. I'll add a count just to show. There's my 17. And if I wanted to include the revenue, which I couldn't do that in a combined query, but I could include that column in there. What's interesting too is now let's go back and change that to a different type of join. So if I edit that, instead of a left join without intersection, what if I do a full join and create? And now I'm showing 25, but in my report now, I'm seeing it like this. So you can see the ones that are generating as well as the ones that aren't. And of course I could filter if I wanted to for the null values that way, but it gives you a lot more analysis options. All right, so for the most part, data tab is really very cool, and the way forward, we'll see when we'll be able to join using a variable. Oh, that was one thing I meant to show, that that the variable doesn't show up there. That's all I wanted to show. Which is disappointing.
I have a question when you go to that document.
Okay. All right, so this has the two queries, and it is not showing the extra dimension variable that I created to get a reformatted ship date there. So what was your question?
The one query that is coming from Excel, since it is Excel, if you change the formatting of that from the object property panel, does it let you merge them, or is it just a display format and doesn't change it in turn?
Well, let's see. So one of the other, let me unmerge to start off with. So that ship date is a string. And will it let me say it's a date? Let me refresh. Well, it says it did.
Does it let you set a format?
Let's try. Do I need to match the original or what I want it to be? Yes, but in order to interpret it, yeah, I mean, I can say that that's the format, and it's still not coming in. That's interesting. Input date. No. Yeah. Nice idea. Any other questions?
Hey, excellent. Thank you so much. Also.